Anybody a gardener in the room? All right. I'm not a gardener. I should put my hand down. My mom is a gardener, thankfully, and she lives in a house in my backyard and has transformed it and made it beautiful. And she started but she just moved from Northern California to Southern California. If you haven't been there, they're like completely different states, completely different, what's the word? Environment, yes. So she struggled with a lot of her plants, and she loves tomatoes and loves to grow tomatoes, but she was having a really hard time finding out, looking at the tomato, and the leaves were turning colors, and of course there was no fruit, and the stems almost looked like they were rotted out. And so she was trying to figure out all the different things that she could have done wrong, or that maybe wasn't getting enough sunlight. But when she dug it out, she realized the problem was at the root. Like there was a disease in the roots, and that's about all I can tell you, because like I said, I'm not a gardener. When we work with anybody, but particularly when we work with LGBT youth, and when we talk about the youth that come to our youth center. So our youth center is in the middle of Hollywood. We see about 94 youth every single day who come to access services, and over about 1,500 every year come through our doors. They're looking for housing, they're looking for food, they're looking for laundry, education, employment, and sometimes just a safe place to be off the streets. And often when we interact with those young people, you will see a lot of things in their life that seem like problems. Maybe they don't have really good communication skills. Maybe they've never developed conflict resolution tools. Simple things like they don't know how to do their laundry. They don't know how to read a non-digital clock. And it's easy to look at those things and go like, these are all problems, and we have to fix these problems. Instead, we need to say, but why are these problems there? And so to really understand what's going on, we got to understand the root of the things that are facing LGBTQ youth, and particularly those that fall into homelessness and housing insecurity. When we do a study of the young people who come through our doors, we find that there's about 35% of them that never earn their high school diploma. Very few have any college experience, and even fewer have any experience working in the real world. And so they arrive at our door, they're between 18 and 24, but they are by no means kind of independent, functioning adults ready to take on the world. And we have to understand why that is. And that's part of understanding the LGBTQ youth that you work with, to really know who they are and what they come from. There's a lot of different factors. There's a lot of different sources of issues. And so up there you can see this list. Almost every single queer person that I know, myself included, has experienced rejection and isolation. And it's some to various degrees. Some folks, it is a very traumatic event in their life to be rejected from your family. Some folks are rejected from their church. Some folks are rejected from their school community, and the people that they thought would be there for them when they do come out are not there for them. And that leads to isolation. As Mike shared earlier, harassment, bullying, discrimination is happening in our schools at very high levels. Almost every queer person has experienced that at least once in school. We see that there is, obviously we know, if we just turn on the news pretty much every day, you can see there's transphobia, homophobia, physical, sexual abuse that's happening at the hands of people who should be caring for our young folks. And then the absence of role models and mentors. Many folks, young people, seek out our services at the center because they don't know one other queer person, and they just need someone else in their life. And this is true in California, so I know it's true in the states that y'all live in. So those sources, those are the issue sources, and they lead to all of these presenting challenges. They lead to substance misuse, which is one of the things we're talking about here today. Just a disengagement from community and from society. Very compromised life skills, as I was talking about before. And again, we see a lot of mental health challenges and high rates of depression and suicidality.